everybody. Welcome to JoeyTLive, Leafs Talk, Life Talk, episode 14. We're live again. I know people have been wondering where the heck I've been. Friday and Saturday I had a couple big nights back to back. You know, I was in the minors. I got called up to the show and I missed a couple of shows. But we got two big games to talk about. Another huge game tonight. We're live to the air. Me and Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy, welcome back. How's it going, brother?
It's good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm your zero. Of course, I'm doing great. How's school? Everything good?
Exams are coming around, so it's getting kind of tight. Yeah.
That's okay, buddy. Why don't you talk into the microphone? Let's get everything.
Yeah, I was not going to see me.
It's okay. You could see him right there, right there. Okay, guys. JoeyTLive, Leafs Talk, Life Talk, episode 14. Tonight's sponsors is the #1 mortgage agent in Toronto, Joey Tomaselli. Message me, email me at joey.tomaselli@thenovagroup.ca or 416-553-5639 for all your purchases, refinances, construction financing, or commercial. Our second sponsor of the night is Vivo Transport Limited. Call Timo at 1-800-299-1253. Transportation and warehousing company, currently with 5 locations across North America. I almost barfed there. And number 3, Goldie Lounge and Nightclub at 619 King Street, West Toronto, the hottest new spot in Toronto. Come visit me. I work there on Thursday and Friday and Saturday nights. I'll book everything for you. I don't stop working, because if you stop working, you stop producing on the streets, Nicolay. There's a little test for you there. You do your test when you get home tonight. That's Goldie Lounge and Nightclub. Another huge sponsor on, guys. Questions are coming. Answers are going to be coming. Lucky. Wow, I see Vecchia Romano on the bar. Wow, Lucky. Lucky's a longtime AC Milan fan. He's technically from India, but he has an Italian passport. It's a long story. Welcome, Lucky, to the show. It's always good to have you on. Lucky sells about 14 homes every 2 weeks. He's really busy. I'm surprised he's here on the show tonight. Guys, we had 2 big games. The Leafs played Friday versus Carolina and Saturday versus Washington. Friday's game, they won 5-4. Saturday, they lost 4-2. And we got Wonder Boy with some stats from the Carolina game. Hit it, Wonder Boy.
So we have Anderson picking up a 13th win of the season, made 43 saves, but he stood on his head the whole game. Carolina stop laughing. Carolina badly outshot.
I don't want to interrupt you. I know you're on fire right now. You need to look at the camera. I know you're seeing a model in front of you, but the camera's right there.
Too close.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. You look fantastic. Carry on with the Carolina. But I want you to look my 3,000 people watching right now and look them in the eye and talk to them. Okay?
Anderson absolutely stood on his head. He got pelted. The first period, the Leafs got outshot, I think, 15-3. And he was saving everything. He kept him in the game, kept him in the period.
Made a huge Glover in that first period. I thought he broke his wrist. That was a Glover I made on Marco Ricci on my driveway 17,000 times over. But big Glover, big first period by Anderson.
Second period, the Leafs didn't come out incredibly strong, but they scored early and they scored often. We had Hainsey, Hyman, and Levo scoring the first 3 goals, and that really gave us a good cushion.
It was good to see our third cousin Levo scoring that first goal of the season. Roof jobbing over Ward. Ward hasn't been good since 2007, but you know what? He's always played strong against us. Carry on, Wonder Boy.
Third period rolls around. Carolina scored 3 goals, and if Marleau didn't have scored that 5th goal, Matthews with the slap pass.
Oh no, but Matthew, sorry to interrupt you again, Wonder Boy. It's my show. You're gonna get used to it. That slap pass that Mateo gave. Like, I remember Nuno giving me a slap pass to my face, and it wasn't the same impact, but it caused enough damage. And that pass, and then the way Mateo skated away, like he was disgusted with himself, was phenomenal. But you're right, Wonder Boy. Good point. They don't score that goal, we might not come out with those 2 points.
No, the Carolina scored 2 goals in 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and it got very close, but they held on 6-5 at the end of the game.
Thank God. And we all thought Babcock was going to go to Machiavelli that game, but he actually went to Anderson and he decided to start Machiavelli versus Washington. So, huge game in Carolina. Definitely needed those 2 points.
Big 2 points, yeah.
Big 2 points for us. 5-4, one of the best performances I've seen in net, probably since Ed Balfour was in net for us. We definitely needed Anderson to play like that, and he showed up big time. Thought the Leafs played a little sluggish towards the end, but the first 2 periods
it's not like he let him bad goals. It's just his defense didn't help him.
Oh no,
he made
47 shots. I think his defense were having some dinner at La Paloma, and then they probably went to a couple of Italian restaurants after because they definitely weren't there. And Anderson, you know what? He played bad the first 7 games. Maybe the defense is like, it's your turn. I want to take a break. Then we had the second game, which, guys, Saturday night, I actually went to the game against the Washington Capitals. I was 3-0. I figured, you know what, Joey, let's go to the 4th game. Tickets were on my friend who brought me because I am famous now. I do not pay for Leaf tickets when I go to the game. I will be having a lot of people on my show coming forward. I went to the game. That first goal, Ovi scored. I was sitting 8 rows behind the net where Machiavelli was in net. I had neck surgery. I was so dizzy after he scored that goal. I called my surgeon at St. Mike's and I said, listen, can I come in Monday? Because Ovi went back and forth, Rister 1-0. We forget, and I think we take for granted the sniper that Ovi is. Ovi actually just passed Mike Bossy in goals with 574. He tied him. Now he hit 575. Ovechkin's going to hit 700 goals, and people got to stop talking about Wonder Boy, how he doesn't perform well in playoffs. He averages a point a game in the playoffs. He scores an average of 36 goals a year. That guy is a legend. People need to get off Ovechkin's back. Stop comparing him to Crosby. Crosby, I believe, had a better surrounding. Like, you can't compare Backstrom to Malkin. Backstrom is a great player, but he ain't no Malkin.
No.
And until they got Holtby, Pittsburgh always had better goalies. So shout out to Ovechkin. When a legend scores 3 goals to you, and while I'm watching, I actually didn't mind. It was a treat to watch Ovechkin play. So let's hit some stats from that game, Wonder Boy. I'm glad to have you back. I could do some sit-ups and push-ups right into this. Carry on.
Leafs goal scorers, Zaitsev and Gardner. No output from the forwards. We didn't have enough.
Again, Matthews had a couple chances. He
hasn't looked normal in the last couple, 3
Well, you got to
games.
remember, he missed 4 games. He's only human. He took a slap shot, actually, when they were down 3-2.
I hope he made a huge save.
Huge save, but I've never seen Mateo take a slap shot. I think if he went to his Platinum, I don't even want to call it a wrister. I think it's a flicker. It's when you open the lights when you come home late from a nightclub and you don't know where you're going, so the lights come on, you don't know how you did it. I kind of wish that he took a shot like that. But here's a quick question from Carson, my good buddy Carson. I think he's in Italy right now. Joey, how I stay so... Carson's actually in Italy right now. How do you stay so chiseled in this country? Well, Carson, unless you're drinking water and having feathers, that ain't going to happen in Italy. Ovechkin deserves a cup, and the entire NHL wants it. Yes, Carson, again, Ovechkin is a freaking legend. My God, when you pass a guy like Mike Bossy, you're doing something right. He's still young. He's got a good 4 more years, Wonder Boy, left. Even if he averages 30 goals a year, which he could do in his sleep. A bad year for Ovechkin is 30 goals. He'll pass 700 goals. And he's going to go down as the greatest goal scorer in our era, mine and your era. Not since 2005, maybe even the year 2000, has there been a better pure goal scorer than Ovi. You know, he doesn't fix his hair. It's one knock I have on him. Might as well shave it. His nose looks like he took a bat off it in the 3rd inning, but he keeps scoring goals. You got to give it to him. So carry on. Zaitsev actually had a beautiful rush. That was good to see. Gardner scored a nice goal, but he's still making some screw-ups.
He does good. He has ups and downs.
Yeah, he's like an elevator. You're right.
He has some really good plays, but then other players how could a professional player make a play like that?
It doesn't make sense. No sense. You know what? Then he does sign. How about that goal he set up in Carolina with Hyman? He came. That's why I wonder. I almost started to think maybe Gardner should be a forward. Like he in our zone, he scares me. But when he moves the puck up, maybe Nylander's the only one better gliding through that neutral zone. Marner if he's on. Those are the only 2 I see. Mateo's a god. He could skate on sandpaper or even quick sand if he wants to. Napa Valley Kitchens is in the house. We don't have a defense. Campari. Yes, Napa Valley Kitchens, guys. If you ever need some good kitchens, go see my Kambata at Napa Valley Kitchens. He's right. We don't have the right defense yet. But again, guys, Lou Lamoriello ain't going to pull no trigger unless someone comes into his office without knocking on the door. Don't worry. We're going to get that defenseman. Right now, we're still 4th, 5th in the league. We definitely need some help on the back end. But again, these top-tier defenders do not grow on trees. So let's stop asking for these defensemen because they're not going to come. As bad as I want one right now, I think we're not going to get one till February, March, but we're definitely going to tinker with that 6-man in the back. February, March. Wonderboy, I feel it on you. You have something to say.
I see Lamoriello pulling a trade for a first-round pick, either the three of Kapanen, Levo, or Shoshnikov going over and bringing in a defenseman.
So you're thinking he's going to give up a first?
Because we don't need our first anymore. Look at all the depth players. Marley's
no, you're right. You're right. I agree with you, Wonderboy. Usually we don't agree, and you haven't looked at the camera because you're like
I'm too busy looking
stunned in my hazel eyes. But what I'm trying to get at, that's a great point. Maybe he does give a first round because, like you said, I don't think we need any help up front. You know, I wouldn't mind another mucker player like a Martin with a little more speed. Because you got to remember, Martin's playing right now to protect the kids. Someone took a run in the first period in the Washington game at Martiner, a couple cross-checks, and I was with my boy, and I said, that's why Martin's on this team.
He did not play against Carolina.
He did not play against Carolina, but I don't see Carolina as rough as a Washington.
No.
We don't need Martin, but in the playoffs, you'll see how much we need Martin.
Maybe making a trade with Carolina for a defenseman.
Oh, they have
abundance
of defensemen. You know, I would love to take one of them off their hands, and basically, they don't got the money to keep all 6. They're a small market team. They got about 300. I got more people watching the show tonight than they have going to their games, and they've won a cup since 2007. I think they won.
That was last time they were in the playoffs too.
It makes me sick to my stomach. Massimo Leo, he is memorized by the marble carving. What is Zio Joy? So Massimo's a longtime friend. Long-time listener. We played soccer together for the provincial team. Not only do I do mortgages, I score from center. Massimo saw me carved a lot of defenses with my favorite move, the cut. He knows what's up. He knows my nephew knows what's up. So good to see Massimo being on the show tonight again. Always love seeing you guys. I'm still at my mother's house, guys. I'll be here till Friday morning. I move out, and the city is mine. Someone answer that phone before I flicker Silvio's nose right off.
Going back to the Washington game, Ovechkin always tears us apart. All-time stats against the Leafs, he has 36 goals, 27 assists, and 63 points all-time against the Leafs. That's absolutely incredible.
Well, probably a lot of that was against Raycroft, who probably couldn't stop
beach
ball, and he was pretty bad, and we had Telquist in those
games.
Toskala. That guy was
worse
than a used plunger. Let me tell my joke on there. I'm trying to get it out. A used plunger, he stunk that bad. Toskala was disgusting. Then we even had a pogie, and that sounded like that hot dog with the cotton on top of it. I don't even know how to explain it. But you're right. Ovechkin's tore us out. How many points is that in total?
63 points.
63 points in how many games?
I'm not too sure.
That's okay, Wonderboy. I was going to fire you there, but that's not right. I got to keep you alive. I was pretty lonely without you. So the Leafs play a huge game tonight, boys, at 9 o'clock versus the Calgary Flames. Tonight we play.
Are you sure tonight?
Is it tonight or tomorrow?
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh, God, I thought we had a game tonight. They play tomorrow night against Calgary Flames, West Coast road trip, Edmonton Thursday, and Vancouver Saturday. They need to win 2 out of the 3. Let's talk a little bit about Johnny Hockey.
Oof.
He is definitely one of the best players in the world. Johnny Hockey,
tearing it up right now.
He's a little Martin St. Louis type of player. What is he in points right now?
Third in the league in scoring, tied with Kucherov with 34 points.
34 points with Kucherov, you mean he's tied with?
That's what I said.
You said Kucherov, but it's okay,
no,
buddy. 34 points. Well, I got the tape to pretty much go over that. 34 points. He's basically doing that on his own. He's one heck of a player. Would have loved to see him on a line with Matthews or Kane, even Kessel, an Oshie on the U.S. Olympic team. That won't be happening, but Johnny Hockey is definitely, when you got a nickname like Johnny Hockey, you're going to have to produce, because the only one I've seen with a hockey on his nickname was Mr. Hockey, Gordie Howe, and he's a legend in his own right. So that's not bad. Johnny Hockey is one of the top 5 players, probably top 7 in the world. Then we got Thursday against McLovin. He's heating up. His team
is going down,
stinking it up, so they're struggling big time. But I wouldn't mind seeing a Matthews against McDavid matchup. I love seeing that. I think it's going to be one hell of a game. I think Matthews is going to come up flying against Edmonton. Vancouver, they were supposed to be stinking it up this year. They're playing with a lot of heart, and actually they're doing really good right now.
Rookie Bozer, I think his name is?
No, Brock Lesnar. No. I think one of his names is Brock or Lesnar. He's on fire right now. Brock. I think his last name is Brock.
Bozer or something like that.
Something like that. He is on fire right now, and Vancouver's really tearing it up.
He's looking candidate for the Calder.
Oh, I think right now he's right
he
there.
Is a counter.
Definitely. I believe he has 18 or 19 points. I believe the Leafs are going to get 2 to 3. I think the loss, if any loss comes, it's going to be the first game against Calgary. And I think they're going to beat Edmonton and Vancouver. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong. And I'm hoping they get, I want them to sweep that West Coast trip. They've always had trouble in Calgary. And I definitely want them to come out with those points right now. We got actually the Raptors switching sports right now. They're 12-7. They beat Atlanta, I believe, the last game. But I think, again, anyone can beat Atlanta right now. They got nothing. Wednesday against Charlotte. Friday against Indiana. Raptors looking at least half decent right now. 19 games into the season. How about that Westbrook versus Durant? Little struggle, like, wow. I'm more of a Westbrook fan than Durant. I think Durant kind of chickened out by going to the Golden State Warriors. I think he should have stayed with OKC. If you want to be considered a legend Wonder Boy, you should stay.
I didn't see him getting a trophy there. Like, they just couldn't have the firepower.
You know what? But if you want to be a legend, he should have stayed. Don't get me wrong. He's got a chip on his finger now, 100%. But don't be clapping in Westbrook's face. I don't like that stuff. He's acting like a little B right now, and I don't like it. He needs to suck it up, play hard. I'm glad to see Westbrook beating him. It was good to see. Guys, again, share this video. More people share it, the more people make me happy. Share the video. Tell your friends about it. This show's going to be going viral soon, guys. It's going to spread. I don't even know what to do anymore. I can't even walk the streets without someone taking a picture of me. I said this in a couple of shows before. I need to get glasses because the flash of the cameras are really hurting my eyes. We got a big TFC game coming up Wednesday against Columbus. 0-0 on aggregates. They just need to win 1-0. I definitely, Wonder Boy, do not want to go into penalty shots.
No.
They did that in the finals last year. I was there right on the field. I could touch the grass. It was a sad moment in Toronto. I will be living in Liberty Village. If they win that game, guys, I'm walking around with a rope,
if they win that game,
a bubbles in my mouth, and a Viagra.
If they win that game, I'm coming with my buddies and coming to your place before the game.
I might let you in, Wonder Boy. That's a good point. Not bad at all. But they definitely not. If they win that game, they need to win that game. We got shout out to the Argos. I know 65 people watch you, but God bless you, boys. You played hard. Brought a great cup home. You guys played in 5 feet of snow last night. I don't know how you took a hit in that kind of weather. Argos are not a huge draw, I would say, in the Toronto sports industry. But you know what? A championship is a championship. Only 8 teams in the league. Again, I know I make more than probably 95% of the Argos, and that's not saying much because I'm not going to tell you what I make on the air, but I know a couple of Argo buddies of mine, they don't make a lot, and to play football and get smacked around like that, Wonder Boy, it's a tough sport not to make over 100K, I'll tell you that much. I'd rather fight Silvio in the octagon than take a chance of playing 15, 16 Argo games and getting paid 55 G's. You know what I mean? You might as well go work for Uber. But shout out to the Argos for beating the Calgary Stampeders in the Grey Cup final. What are the Argos, Carson said. Oh, yeah, sorry. Mike Spataro's back in the house. Finally, we have 5 winning franchises. Yeah, it's a good time to be a Toronto sports fan. 3 years ago, it was rough times. No one was winning. Argos stunk. Raptors weren't making the playoffs. Leafs were, geez, I don't even want to get as big of a bust as Phil Kessel's gut. And, you know, it's times like that that make it rough. I think we have a first-time listener, long-time caller. I'm going to call one of our biggest fans of the show, David, a.k.a. Johnny. Wonderboy, give the kid a call. Kevin Medeiros in the house. Wonderboy back at it. JTU in the octagon. What's this talk Leaf game tonight? Oh, Kevin Medeiros doing work on his tries right now for sure in his kitchen. Let's see if we get an answer here from one of our long-time listeners. First-time callers. Hello, Johnny. Is that you?
Johnny.
Welcome to the show, Johnny. Johnny is a longtime Leaf fan. Welcome to the show, David Castellino, a.k.a. Johnny Alltalk. How's it going, buddy?
Johnny, I'm honored to be on the show.
I'm honored to have you on the show. Johnny, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, what you do, before we get into some Leaf talk?
Well, listen, I'm not going to do my own horn. I am the best personal trainer in the city, in the country, maybe, potentially. Definitely on this show, I'm the best personal trainer.
Okay.
I know you mentioned earlier that you know Wonderboy can look at you as a model, but Wonderboy really wants
So your favorite movie must be Liar Liar, Johnny, but that's a good point. Johnny actually was
Anyway, Johnny, I was talking.
Carry on, Johnny. You got about 3 seconds. Carry on.
Like you said, I'm doing personal training.
Talk louder, Johnny. I can't hear you. Talk louder.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, talk as loud as you want, buddy. Talk as loud as you want.
Like I was saying, personal trainer. I do my work in Kleinberg at Incline Fitness and Rehab, where we try to perfect bodies and change lives.
That's amazing. Well, Johnny, I'm so proud of you. Johnny was about 450 pounds this time last year. He's got more abs than Connect 4 right now, and he's on fire. Like, I actually sometimes when my washing machine breaks down, I go by Johnny's house and we give it a good run on the stomach. Actually, I don't do it, he does it, but he looks fantastic. And the one thing I love about Johnny, he's a longtime Leaf fan. We actually only talk, Johnny. You could correct me if I'm wrong or whatever you want to call it. We only talk during the season. Is that true?
Correct. I actually delete your phone number once the Leafs are done, right up until October 4th or 5th, whatever it is.
Johnny, I want to tell a little story. Me and Johnny went to a couple Leaf games together. And do you remember that one time we were at the ACC, we were stuck in an elevator with a bunch of hooligans, and I had my hair slicked to the side. What did he say to me, Johnny? Do you remember what he said to me?
He must have been suffering from glaucoma at the time because he made a comment about your hair.
And then what did I call him? Wayne's World right to his face?
I can't remember exactly what you said, but the moment you opened your mouth, I started laughing.
Yeah, because I shoot from the mouth like Ovechkin shoots from the top of the circle. So definitely good story me and Johnny have. Johnny, I want you to go through who's your favorite Leaf player of all time, because you're a huge fan. That I can't take away from you. Who's your favorite Leaf player of all time?
Well, I missed out on some of the greatest years, some of the best years that you got to see. But for me, nobody can top Sundin. He was my guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Other than the fact that they gave him guys of mine and your skills to play with.
Absolutely.
He was the best player I got to watch. And in my opinion, if we had, maybe shot for maybe a higher skilled Russian than a guy like McGillney or, even Hoagland and Redbird being on his line, we would have been a cup winner.
100%, Johnny. That's a great point. Like, we got McGillney with a bad hip, and even though he did have 74 points, he wasn't the McGillney that played with Buffalo or New Jersey. Imagine your favorite player and my favorite player, Sundin, having a Sakic on his line, or a Forsberg, or a Matt Naslund, or anyone with skill, a Yager. Like, that poor guy, a lot of people knocked him. He was not a great leader. People forget he had nothing to work with. You can't make shit into gold, Johnny. And too many times he had a pile of shit, and people tried to make it a Bitcoin. It's not going to happen with a pile of crap. What do you feel about our team now, Johnny?
Well, you know what? I feel as though, those years, they were great. We did miss out because, like we said, we didn't give Sundin enough to play with. But I feel like those years were sort of a stepping stone or a learning curve for where we are now.
Oh, I agree.
You have a guy like Sundin and Matthews. He is a leader. He's a true leader. He's the franchise player that we've been begging for. Now we have the opportunity to surround him with guys that we already have, Nylander, Matthews, and so on. Now we have to really capitalize on it.
Johnny, did you hear what Matt Sundin actually said about Matthews the other day in the paper?
Johnny, he texted me before scoring.
Oh, 100%. With those abs, I text you sometimes by accident. So that's a good point, Johnny. And I know you became a trainer just to do fake squats with a lot of the lovely females in front of you, but you also did better for yourself. And again, guys, if you saw my buddy Johnny before, he looked like Peter Griffin from Family Guy, and he really turned his body around. Now he looks like a stunt double for Rocky IV if they ever remade the movie. He looks fantastic. Johnny, what do you feel about the first line? Who would you put on the first line for the Leafs right now?
On our team?
No, Johnny, the Toronto Marlies. Yes, on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Stick with me, Johnny.
If you want me to say we should bring in a guy, Johnny, you got to be a little bit more clear.
Okay, but on our team right now, because I don't think Lou's going to make any trades for a first-line player right now. Who would you...
I'll be honest with you. I really don't have an issue with our top, one or two lines. Even the third line, I don't have an issue with. My only issue right now with the Leafs and the way we're structuring our lineup is the fact that Leo Komarov is anything more than a fourth-line player. That guy does not deserve to play any in my humble opinion.
Third tops, I agree with you. I think he's on the third because he's got something going with Kadri. I think the fourth line, who would you replace then with him on the third line then?
You know what? I know this is going to sound a little crazy, but Matt Martin has been playing really well when given the opportunity. I think he got 2 or 3 points, they were all assists, mind you, but that night that he played with Matthews and Marner.
You know, that's a good point, Martin, I guess. And you know what? People don't remember.
You know what? At the end of the day, a guy like Matt Martin, you put it to his head, and I think they brought this up on Saturday at Hockey Canada. You put that guy out of the line, you bring Levo in, you give him the mindset that I'm on this team to fight, and you give him a bad idea of where he is, where he fits into the team. You want him to think that he's an integral part. Why not give him a chance in the third line? You saw what he can do when he played with Matthews and Martin. Maybe that's not sustainable for the whole year, but on the third line, you never know what's happening.
See, the problem with the third line, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but technically I am. What I'm going to get at is when you got Kadri as your third line center, and you got to have Kadri, you got to have who's on his left side on Kadri's line?
Komarov and Nylander.
And Nylander, no, it hasn't been on the third line. Marlowe. Usually they've been playing Marlowe with Kadri. I don't think Martin could kind of keep up with Kadri. Maybe he can. I just think there should be a little more skill on that third line. I think you put all the muckers on the fourth line, Johnny, if you really want my opinion. Now, that's a great point. Komarov is not going to give you abundance of skill, but you do need some hits on that line, and they are a checking line, even though Kadri's... He does work hard, and Kadri's playing out of his mind. He's actually underpaid. I never thought I would say that. As a third-line center, Kadri could be our second-line center because next to Matthews, Kadri's our second-best player on this team. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And I brought this up with our buddy brought this up with me the other night. There are a couple issues I had with our weekend games, if you don't mind me jumping ahead there.
Go ahead. I was there actually Saturday.
What was going to happen either way. But anyway, what really upset me about the weekend series that we had here, one, okay, I get they wanted to get their points and lock in that Carolina game. But a Saturday night game against Washington at home, Freddie's got to be your guy. He has to be your guy.
Well, good point. He should have played against Washington.
I don't know why they started Napolini going into the Saturday night game. Freddie would have been my guy 100%. I'm not saying we would have won the game because I don't think we played well enough throughout the game.
Yeah, if Machiavelli went in that Friday night, Johnny, I don't think he would have made those 46 saves, 44 saves. No chance.
Right, you're right, 100%. But at the same time, Saturday night at home against the teams like Washington, which we all know we have reservations with from last year, I go with Freddie on that night.
Wow, Johnny, I was actually there 8 rows behind the net because I don't sit in the upper bowl, Johnny, because my show's pretty big right now. When Ovechkin came down that wing, I swear to God, I was eating popcorn. When I was done with it, it turned into just seeds. Like, he did this play back, forth, and a wrister, even though Machiavelli looked like he was making a kick save from the 80s. Wow, like, to watch that 8 rows up, I forget how deadly Ovechkin is. And you're right, you need a top-tier goalie in net to make that save. The only reason why I don't flack on Machiavelli so much, people forget if it wasn't for that save in Pittsburgh with the dying moments last year, we don't even go to the playoffs. But you're right, Saturday night's a big game. We definitely needed Anderson to be there, but he's playing way too many minutes, has too many shots, and I don't think Friday night getting peppered for 44 helped him. But you're right, a game like a Saturday night, a home game, because it felt like we were out of it 5 minutes in.
Another thing I didn't like about this whole Saturday situation is we're the home team. It's in Toronto. I get that, they want to do something for a kid. Like, the kid, he wanted something done with Ovechkin, his favorite player. Why didn't Washington do that on their own terms? And we did something for a kid that idolizes Matthews.
Great point. I never looked at it that way, Johnny.
Onto an already lit fire Saturday night, and that, in my opinion, is why part of the reason why Ovechkin exploded on that Saturday night. Some kid should have been there, and in our building, who idolizes Matthews, would just light a fire under his butt.
That's a good point, because imagine somebody in Washington where Matthews goes to Washington, and okay, the kid situation, that's a terrible situation, but I do get your point. I do not see a Matthews going to Washington and having a kid at a first intermission, second intermission, talking about on their TV channel how big of a Matthews fan he is and how happy Matthews is. It's crazy to see that. I know when I go to other cities, when I go on vacations, no one talks about the Maple Leafs. Why are we giving them any love in our barn? I'm going to give Lou Lamoriello a call about that, Johnny. That's a good point. The kid should want to see someone like myself or Matthews, or that's it. I support the kid in all regards. You don't want to see anyone being sick, but it should be a Marner, Matthews, or Nylander, our team behind that kid. But then again, if that's that kid's wish, Johnny, who are we to tell him not to cheer for Ovechkin? I get your point. I get the kid's point. That's who we wanted to see. And like you said, you don't need to put a spark under Ovechkin's ass because he scored 3 goals, 2 goals before I even got my third vodka soda. And I knew the game was over. Leafs came on a little bit too late. Empty netter. Ovechkin roofs it upstairs. There's the ball game. Game's done. Game's dead. Just like that.
It just doesn't make sense why we can't get the way we played towards the end of the games. Why we just can't get back corners at the beginning.
Johnny, one last question. I know you want to do some chin-ups and push-ups, whatever you call it in your gym world. Who are you afraid of in the East, and how far do you think the boys will go this year?
Well, I think you have to be stupid to not even mention Tampa Bay in the East.
Oh, they're a very scary team.
They're scary. They are scary. But at the same time, we all know what happens to Tampa once we get a little deeper into the season. Let's let whatever's going to play out. I feel like there are some teams still that have to fall off. I will say, though, regardless of how scared I am of Tampa, I'm very happy with what's going on in Montreal.
Oh, I'm smiling every morning that I didn't pass any of my French tests growing up, Johnny. That's for sure.
I look every day. I look at my map and I just give a finger to Montreal and then I give it to Detroit, just to let them.
And a little side dish for the Boston fans out there too, Johnny. Don't forget them. You know what, Johnny? I think the only 3 teams I'm afraid of with this Leaf lineup, if we have to start the playoffs today, is Washington, because they proved they could still beat us. You got Pittsburgh and you got Tampa Bay. I'll never count out Krasmanutz and Malkin and Fat-Ass McGee, Phil Kessel. You can't forget him. He's leading the team in points. But again, for him to get traded was the best thing for us. I don't care. He has 2 Stanley Cups. Those are my 3 teams. I think every other team in the East we can definitely beat.
Maybe New Jersey?
Nah, New Jersey's too young, too dumb. They're not going to make it that far.
They're going to fall off.
They'll eventually fall off. I mean, they might make the playoffs.
Like Vegas doesn't stand a chance.
No, Vegas, they're going to be at the crap table pretty soon, John. You can't live in Vegas and play 82 hockey games. It doesn't happen. You get flyers every day of women handed to your hands. You got nightclubs. You got bottle service. You cannot think straight. Imagine this. The Leaf team of 3 years ago were playing in Vegas. Lupo would have IV connected to his eyelid just to play the next game. Kadri would have one nostril shut. There would have been big problems with Leafland if we were playing straight out of Vegas. But, Johnny, I appreciate you coming on the show. You're one of the biggest Leaf fans next to me and Wonder Boy. You're right there with us. We love you. We love your enthusiasm. I swear to God, put a tattoo of the Maple Leaf symbol on your abs and let's get this thing started for this playoff run. Okay, brother?
Boys, really appreciate being on the show. Anytime you need me, I'm there for you.
Thanks, big guy. Keep it going and keep doing chin-ups, and I love the squats, buddy.
All right, boys.
Take care, brother. So that's a big Leaf fan right there, guys. Sometimes I like to give back to the people, give them their 15 minutes of fame because I'm tired of taking all the spotlight. I know Wonder Boy, again, he can't even walk through the hallways of York University. He's so big right now. Teachers giving him aid just to meet me, and I tell him, I'm staying single like a base hit. Leave me alone. Leave my nephew alone. Just give him 80 so I can get out of there faster. Guys, it's been one heck of a ride. Episode 14. Do we have any questions, Nick Lee, a.k.a. Wonder Boy, before we head off the show tonight? Oh, you're not even looking. You're too busy just feeding the stats. Josh McGarry with a big question. I have 2 questions for you. Josh, Boston Bruin McGarry. What are your thoughts about Nylander, Matthews, and Brown line? And how does it feel to be a celebrity? I'm going to go with the celebrity question right away, Josh. I've been a celebrity from 7 years old since I started playing rep soccer. So going to Heinz L's in Woodbridge and all the big locations, being on the Specchio every time. I thought I was the mayor actually growing up for Woodbridge. So that's a great question, Josh. The Nylander, Matthews, Brown line. Is it my first line I would want? Yes and no. Nylander's not really playing his greatest hockey right now. Brown's a grinder. I'd rather have Brown there, Josh, than Hyman, that's for sure. I know you feel the same way. I don't think Hyman has the hands to play with Matthews. I think it's a waste of Matthews' talent having a guy like Hyman. But I know Babcock loves Hyman. I think that's a good line. I think that's a solid line.
Would you see a Marner, Matthews, Brown line?
I want Marner and Matthews to play 82 games together. So yes, Wonder Boy, good point. I would definitely love to see them. And I got lucky telling me right now, Joe, you have hair like Rod Duguay. That's very true. I definitely do. Kevin Medeiros with some nice questions. He's got a Marlowe, Matthew, and Nylander line. Listen, guys, put any two players in Matthews, they're going to shine. I just feel let's go with the scariest first line and just kill it. You know, the first two lines for the Leafs, and I'm not Babcock. I haven't won 2 gold medals in the Stanley Cup. I probably would score 60 goals a year if none will let me play hockey. But he saw a soccer star, and I was a Roberto Baggio in the making. But I would stack the first 2 lines with all our talent. Third and fourth line, muck it up. That's what Pittsburgh did last year. That's how the salary cap works. Chicago does it. When LA was winning, they were doing that. Boston did that. We got to copy the same model. Stack the first 2 lines. Third and fourth line, get your 12-10 minutes, and body check the shit out of everybody when you see them. That's pretty much. Great question, Josh. Luca Toni, that's definitely what I am, Kevin Medeiros. Guess, guys, it's 36 minutes in the show, episode 14. Thank you for coming out. Wonder Boy, hit the music. Great show tonight. Share the show. If you got the wisdom and the knowledge, share it. Wonder Boy, play it again. We could talk over my voice anytime. Share the show. Spread it around. Thanks for coming, Wonder Boy. Love you, brother. I love you, Peace out.